Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday, September the 15th. We're here to look at the new releases that are published in this week in mysteries. And on Mondays, we look at the cozy mysteries. There's always too many of them, so we look at the rest of them on Friday. And on Wednesdays, we look at the darker side. We look at crime fiction and thrillers. So today is cozy. Hope you had a good weekend. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. The next sprints on my channel are tomorrow night, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me. First up, this is a re-release that we're just going to touch lightly on. Ellie Alexander has gotten the rights back for one of her first series and is re-releasing them now that she is an established author. And this one is book 4. It seems like she's doing it once a week or maybe once every other week of the 5 books in this re-release series. This is A Body at Boot Camp, 4th in the Meg Reed Investigates series. Give that its moment. Let's see, the next one I wanted to call attention to a bigger name is the Marlowe Murder Club has a new book by Robert Thorogood. This is called Murder on the Marlowe Bell, 4th in that series. Good morning, Mary. Happy Monday, another sunny day here in Virginia. Oh, nice, and still no rain. Oh, no, but they say maybe later in the week. Sure hope so. Oh, that'll be nice. And Kim says good morning. Good morning, Kim. Mary says hi, and Kim says hi back. All right. Murder on the Marlowe Bell. Verity Beresford is worried about her husband. Oliver didn't come home last night, so of course Verity goes straight to Judith Potts, Marlowe's resident amateur sleuth, for help. Oliver, founder of the Marlowe Amateur Dramatic Society, had hired the Marlowe Belle, a private pleasure cruiser, for an exclusive party with the Mads Committee, but no one remembers seeing him disembark. And then Oliver's body washes up on the Thames with 2 bullet holes in him. It's time for the Marlowe Murder Club to leap into action. Although Oliver was, by all accounts, a rather complicated chap with a reputation for bullying children during nativity play rehearsals, and he wasn't short of enemies. Judith, Susie, and Bex are convinced they'll find his killer in no time. But things are not as they seem in the Marlowe Amateur Dramatic Society, and this case is not so clear-cut after all. The gang will need to keep their wits about them to solve this case. Otherwise, a killer will walk free. ... All right, back to our somewhat alphabetical by author listings. Let me check my brightness is off. Whoa, there we go. Malice Among the Marigolds by Christy T. Dixon, 3rd in the Cloverhaven Mysteries. When Neely and Sheriff Troy McGregor go undercover at Preston Ashwell's sprawling estate, she expects awkward small talk, lavish dinners, and secrets tucked behind velvet curtains. What she doesn't expect is a guest to wind up dead, or to realize that staying undercover means staying close to Troy, the one man who can unravel her resolve as easily as he cracks a case. With danger blooming around every corner and sparks flaring hotter than she's ready to admit, Neely must balance solving the mystery with facing feelings she's tried to bury. If they don't unmask the killer soon, they may not make it out of Preston's mansion alive or with their hearts unscathed. Mystery on Briar Street by Diane Harmon, 14th in the Clean Sweep Cozy Mysteries. Jane Barrow thought cleaning the old Wheeler house would be just another job, until contractor Brent discovers a metal box hidden in the wall containing decades-old Polaroid photographs of children. Each haunting image shows a different child posing against the same rose-patterned wallpaper, their names faded and crossed out in mysterious handwriting. When Jane begins investigating the photos, she uncovers the tragic story of Pearl Wheeler, a reclusive woman whose life was shattered by accusations decades ago. But as Jane digs deeper into Alma's buried secrets, or her name was Pearl. Where did Alma come from? Strange things start happening at the house. Doors left ajar, fresh footprints in the dust, and the unsettling feeling that someone doesn't want these old mysteries solved. With the help of her boyfriend Mike and her growing certainty that these children deserve to have their stories told, Jane races to identify the faces in the photographs before whoever is watching her stops her permanently. But in a small town where some secrets have been buried for generations, the truth about what happened in the Wheeler house may be more devastating than anyone imagined. Styled for Murder by Sarah Osborne, part of a Didi Brown mystery, book 8. Oh, I guess there it is. Mabel Aphrodite Brown and her best friend Lurleen are preparing for Lurleen's upcoming wedding in southern France. They must find the best wedding hairstyle created by the finest hairdresser in Atlanta. But no matter what Robbie, hairstylist extraordinaire, offers her, Lurleen seems dissatisfied. Is it the hairstyle or the wedding itself that is troubling her? Before Didi can sort this out, disaster strikes. A woman is found dead by electrocution in a hair-drying chair. Is it murder, suicide, or an accident? Lurleen and Didi must sort out the answer to this hair-raising death. End of row 1. Witch Hazel and Wicked Warnings by D.G. Thomas, 6th in the Thorn Sisters Sleuth Cozy Mystery Series. In the quaint town of Bloomwood, Halloween isn't just about costumes and candy. It's about legends, lost heirs, and the long shadow of Blackstone Manor. When Iris and Poppy Thorne agree to decorate the town's spookiest estate for the annual community party, they expect cobwebs, cider, and maybe a ghost story or two. What they don't expect is a murder. A respected historian is found dead during the manor's ghost tour, clutching a sprig of witch hazel, a plant steeped in southern folklore and deadly symbolism. As whispers of a century-old curse resurface and eerie warnings appear at their flower shop, the sisters are drawn into a chilling mystery rooted in family secrets, forgotten love, and a disappearance that was never truly solved. With their quirky assistant Dolly, a haunted child's vision, and their late mother's herbal journal as guides, Iris and Poppy must untangle truth from superstition before the killer strikes again, and this time, they may be the target. Froth Fiction and Felony, a Piper Page Cozy Mystery by Lucy Penbrook. Doesn't say how many there are. Piper Page thought running her grandmother's bookshop cafe would mean quiet mornings and cozy and zero drama, but when a beloved professor drops dead during Maplebrook's Pages and Prose Festival right in the middle of her store, her dream job turns into real-life whodunit. Now the whole town is whispering business is grinding to a halt, and Piper's locked horns with Detective Luke Harper, grumpy, handsome, and totally convinced she should leave the sleuthing to him. With her sassy cat Jazz, 2 ride-or-die besties, and a freshly brewed murder mystery book club, Piper sets out to solve the case before the killer strikes again. Not Before You Enter by Tish Bouvier, part of the Maxine Jerry Matter Cozy Mysteries. Maxine Jerry Matter, an octogenarian sleuth with all the grit and grace of true southern charm, is sharp as a tack and fiercely independent, even if life has landed her at Sunny Ridge Living Care Facility. While secretly plotting her escape, she instead finds herself tangled in a crochet club mystery when a member of the Wise Weavers is found dead under suspicious circumstances. Old instincts kick in. As a former research assistant to a private investigator, Maxine knows how to follow a thread. And this one leads to more than just tangled yarn. In a world where Southern hospitality can sweeten a smile just enough to hide the sharpest secrets, Maxine soon discovers grudges, gossip, and danger stitched into every corner of her close-knit community. With the killer lurking close and danger unraveling fast, Maxine must stitch together the truth before someone else becomes the next victim. Death Whisk by Catherine Bruns, 15th in the Cookies and Chance Mysteries. Full-time baker and part-time sleuth Sally Muccio is looking forward to an impromptu getaway at Bella Vita, a charming local inn recently renovated by an old friend of her father's. Sal's been asked to provide treats for Bella Vita's open house, and in addition to the extra dough she'll earn, her entire family is invited to spend the night at the bed and breakfast for free. But after a winter storm knocks out the power and Sal stumbles across owner Guido Sorrentino's lifeless body, the night becomes something directly out of a horror movie. Sal fully intends to leave the investigation to the police, that is, until her father's life becomes endangered as well. Who wanted Guido dead, and what does her father have to do with it? Was Guido a member of organized crime? And why was he acting like he had a death wish? With a crowd of angry and bitter relatives busy celebrating his death instead of mourning, it quickly becomes apparent that there are too many suspects to count. It's up to Sal to find a killer before she's treated to a taste of death herself. And it says, recipes included. End of that row. Lizzie's Story, Pride and Prejudice and Potions. Part of that series. This is book 3, and it looks like by Laura M. Drake. It's a truth universally acknowledged that Austin Heights is a sleepy little town until a murder wakes it up. Elizabeth Bennet's life is exactly what you'd expect for a half-witch, half-fae in a small town. Oh, good Lord. She shares a cozy apartment with roommates, writes about social events for the local newspaper, and helps out in her family's bakery, famous for its love potions, gossip, and her mother's poor nerves. But, write your own books. But when her mom becomes a suspect in a murder case, the predictable headlines of Lizzie's life take a chilling turn. Determined to clear her mother's name, Lizzie throws herself into the investigation. While chasing a lead, a spell goes awry, tangling her fate, quite literally, with her number one suspect, the arrogant, brooding Darcy. The only thing worse than searching for clues with the intolerable Faye by her side, her growing attraction to him. Can Lizzie crack the case and get her scoop before the killer strikes again? Or will her prejudice and his pride be the death of them both? Room with a View and Homicide by Patty Larson, 4th in the Fleming Family Cozy Mysteries. He's never spoken in public before, especially not representing Fleming investigations, but the request to talk about the business she loves so much is too tempting to pass up. That's how she finds herself in, in a town in New York. Nervous but excited and about to have her whole world turned upside down by murder. Because, of course, someone dies. That's just her luck, isn't it? At least it's not her hometown of Reading this time, but it's just as deadly as one of the other speakers at the conference one of the other speakers at the conference meets an untimely end. Maybe if the detective on the case were more reliable, she and her new friend Bex Hogan wouldn't be forced to solve crime themselves. Who is she kidding? He doesn't know how to let a crime scene be or an investigation go on without her. Good thing Bex is a retired forensic specialist for the NYPD who still knows a thing or two about murder. Surely between the two of them, they can figure things out before the killer gets away with it or makes them a target. Okay. Murder Haunted, 5th in the Witching Hour Ghost Hunter Mysteries by Kat McGee. Being a ghost hunting witch should be easy if it weren't for a haunted barn, a treasure hidden in the hay, and a stubborn ghost farmer who refuses to rest in peace. When Marna Langley and her Witching Hour Ghost Hunters crew roll into an old family farm for their latest TV episode, rumors of treasure hunters creeping around at night surge. The farmland is said to hold a long-lost fortune and the cranky spirit of the farm's original owner, who's not too keen on visitors. Marna's spells and medium abilities might calm the spirits, but her crystal ball is foggy when it comes to sorting out the living from the dead. Lil, Marna's sassy, ghost-shifting cat, quickly sniffs out more than just dusty secrets, leading everyone on a ghostly chase through a maze of stables and hay bales. Meanwhile, Marna's budding romance with her co-host Royce Davenport teeters between heart-fluttering moments and comedic mishaps, especially when Royce ends up spooked in more ways than one. But things take a grim turn when a rival treasure hunter is found lifeless in a barn stall. With the witching hour cameras capturing eerie lights and cryptic farm apparitions, Marna scrambles to piece together clues about the hidden fortune and the farm's dark past. Suspects lurk behind every bale of hay, from townspeople desperate for gold to treasure hunters willing to do anything to stake their claim. Salsa and Secrets by Joanne Pence. I guess I hadn't seen the author. Well, we are going alphabetical. Hang on, need a sip. Salsa and Secrets, 12th in the Cook and Inspector Mysteries. Gourmet cook Annie Amalfi is ready for a break from wedding planning when her fiancé, San Francisco homicide detective Pablo Smith, suggests a trip to the Arizona desert town where he spent time as a boy. Angie jumps at the chance. Sun, serenity, and the potential for a Southwestern-themed wedding menu? Perfect. But Pablo has another reason for the getaway, to help a childhood friend investigate the suspicious death of a wealthy local. The Ghost Hollow guest ranch, complete with ostriches and ghost stories, turns out to be anything but peaceful. Before long, Angie is caught up in a stew of small-town secrets, wild cook-offs, and one seriously amorous ostrich. Then a second murder strikes. And I'm stopping there because it says, note, this is a completely updated and reimagined version of the mystery Red Hot Murder. So, giving you enough taste of it, but this is somewhat mostly previously published. End of that row. Let's go on to newly published things. Earl Grey Tea by Gretchen Rue, part of A Witch's Brew mystery. Halloween is coming to Raven Creek, Washington, and in addition to the town going wild for themed decor, there's also brewing enthusiasm about a famed improv group coming to help stage an Agatha Christie play for the locals. When mega Hollywood star Naomi Novak shows up, the whole town is starstruck, but local tea shop owner and witch Phoebe Winchester is shocked for a different reason. The fiancé Naomi has in tow is none other than Phoebe's cheating ex-husband, Blaine. When Naomi is found dead during local auditions for the play, suspicion quickly turns to the person who served her a seemingly poisoned beverage, Phoebe's friend, Amy. Phoebe knows Amy wouldn't hurt a fly, let alone a famous actress, so Phoebe will need to rely on magic, meddling, and of course her feline sidekick Bob to help figure out who really killed Naomi, even if it might be her own ex, and she needs to do it before they strike again. And we did the Marlowe one. Brushed with Death by Donna Michaels, second in the Harlan County Mysteries. Art After Dark was supposed to be all twinkle lights, tiny hors d'oeuvres, and paint-splattered selfies, not suspicious pigments and paramedics. But when a notoriously dramatic artist keels over mid-event, poisoned by her own handmade paint, Jenna finds herself smack in the middle of another Harlan County whodunit. To make matters worse, the prime suspect is Brandy, Harlan's sunniest interior designer and Jenna's new friend. So Jenna does what any crafty former lawyer would do, grabs her metaphorical magnifying glass and starts connecting the dots. With her tech-savvy sister Kimmy, a crew of quirky locals, and one distractingly handsome DA investigator by her side, Jenna dives into a mystery messier than spilled Mod Podge. Death by Numbers by Amanda Judson, third in the Mar Minor, mysteries. Angela Markham thought her days of tangled investigations were behind her, but when she signs up for a local art class in a beachside bar, she ends up painting her way straight into another mystery. A renowned Dutch artist is found dead in her studio, and though the official cause is an asthma attack, Angie suspects there's more behind the tragedy than a misplaced inhaler and an open window. Whispers of forgery, long-lost family ties, and unspoken rivalries swirl around the quiet coastal town of Bahia Santa Maria. With her partner Teniente Miguel Martinez navigating the official investigation and her close-knit circle of friends gathering clues of their own, Angie finds herself once again in the thick of it, piecing together the past, sifting through secrets, and trying to make sense of a truth someone is desperate to keep buried. As the canvas begins to clear, Angie must decide how far she's willing to go to unearth the truth and how much of her heart she's willing to risk in the process. End of that row. I think we have time for one more. Murder at the Wrap Party by Denise Jaden, fourth in the Olivia Ocean Cruise Ship Mysteries. As it's supposed to be one of the resident photographers aboard the Moonlit Majesty, Olivia Ocean is used to capturing smiling vacationers, sunset portraits, and the occasional conga line, not glamorous film stars. But when a high-profile movie crew boards the ship to celebrate the end of their latest production, Olivia's job takes an unexpected and thrilling turn. That excitement quickly turns to chaos when a member of the cast is pushed overboard under suspicious circumstances. With the ship reeling and gossip spreading faster than sea spray, Olivia, along with her clever, camera-loving cat Pickle, finds herself drawn into a tangled web of secrets, rivalries, and hidden motives. And with the ship's security stretched thin, she may be the only one who can piece the puzzle together. Can Olivia uncover the truth before the killer slips away from the tide? And that is all we have time for. We looked at, how many did we get through? 1, 2, 3, 20. We got through 21 of them. That's not bad. And we have about that left, a little bit more. So we'll look at the rest of those on Friday. On Wednesday, we'll look at the crime fiction and thrillers, so the darker side. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a good Monday. Be safe. You guys are in my heart. And Kim says, hope y'all have a good day. Sprints on Storm's channel tonight. Gotcha. All right. Thanks for the info. I hope you guys are reading good books. If not, it's okay to set them aside and find something that's hitting you at the moment. As the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good night. God bless. Have a good day.